All right, everybody, welcome back. Totally Driven Radio. And you know what? I need a new freaking computer, Nick. I really do.
Do you really? What's it, freezing up?
Oh, dude, so bad anymore. Yeah, and I've been saying to myself, like, this year, like, I'm going to wait until Christmas time and get a new one around Christmas. I'm not going to make it to Christmas. Oh, man. I couldn't even play the bumpers or nothing because of
Get yourself
unreal.
something portable that you can use for the show, you know what I mean, that you can take with you and move with ease.
Well, it's like, I have my laptop. That's what I always use, is the laptop, but it's unbelievable. Anyway, that just busted my whole groove.
Hi, guys.
Wait, let's see
this is Brandy Roderick, and you are listening to Totally Driven Radio.
See that? I hit it. Well, that was Brandy, and I wanted to say real quick before we get Mikey on, I'm going to see Brandy this weekend at Chiller Theater. So I'll send her your love, Nick.
Yeah. And when you see her, tell her I hope she cured whatever disease with water.
Drinking that alkaline water. Yeah, we'll talk to her on Sunday. I want to see if she's going to have any bottles with her. We'll see. But anyway, it's time. It's time to welcome our first guest of the night, a special guest, an incredible guest, and these are the guests I like even more because they were requested by the fans. Let's welcome the one, the only, Mikey Wax to Totally Driven Radio. What's going on there, Mikey?
What's up, guys? Appreciate you having me. And, I just heard what you were saying, and, I guess I'll cross off my list. I was going to get you a new laptop for Christmas, but, I guess I should now.
It could be my birthday's Saturday. I'll take an early birthday present.
Yeah.
But seriously, like I was saying, you were fan requested. We had Todd Carey on a couple of weeks ago, and a few of his fans, they were like, "Hey, you got to have Mikey Wax on. You got to have Mikey Wax on." And lo and behold, here he is. And then I start getting the tweets earlier today.
Yeah,
the tweets start from the Wax Pack.
Todd and I have a lot of similar fans, and they've been really supportive to both of us. So it's really special that they asked for that.
Yeah, I mean, that's the night we had Todd on. It was just incredible, the fan support and everything. And if you have a fan base like his, I mean, that's exciting. It really is.
To have a fan base?
Well, as active and into as Todd is? Yeah.
I'm always amazed every day, like when I get tweets and I get messages on Facebook and Instagram. I'm like, this is so cool that people are interested in my music and they want to interact and everything like that. And that's a lot about what it's about these days is kind of, that fan interaction, because they're the ones that are supporting me and helping me build my career. So, it's truly, that's what it's all built off of.
Yeah, absolutely. And, between the fans and the social media and a lot of stuff that I want to get into, because I did a quick recap of, your career. I want to go back in time and talk to you about, early on and rising up into now. But the one thing that really impressed me that I want to get into is a lot of your music. I mean, it's been used in so many different places where you had a song used on So You Think You Can Dance. You had a song used on MTV's Real World, ABC Family Switched at Birth, American Airlines In-Flight Entertainment. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, all these crazy things. I mean, when that happens, like, do they contact you and say, hey, we want to use this song, or do they all of a sudden just say, hey, we already used it? And, I mean, how does that happen?
Yeah, sometimes it is a complete surprise. There was a time my song was used in a movie preview. What was the movie called? I can't remember, but it aired the preview for the first time in like the middle of a primetime hour on a major network. I was like, oh my God, that's my song playing right now, and my phone started like blowing up from text messages and tweets from fans and friends and family, and I had no idea. So, but for the most part, it is kind of, you get a heads up from the supervisor or something like that they pitch your song and they keep you posted throughout throughout all the updates that you get from the network and everything like that. So it's usually not a surprise, but that one time it was. I have to say it was kind of special. I had no idea, and there it was.
That had to be pretty wild, like, especially that you caught it You know what I mean?
You know why? It aired during, so the show Nashville was just like becoming a thing, and I was watching it, and they decided to air the movie preview during that show, and it was like one of the opening, it was one of the first times that show was like, being broadcasted, so everybody I knew was watching it, and everybody had heard my song during the commercial breaks. That was pretty cool. So,
see, at that point, I would be like, yes, and then I'd be like, ka-ching,
I never like to put the money first, but there is, in the back of your mind, you're like, okay, maybe I could pay the bills this month. So.
Yeah, exactly. But now, how about this one? Like, when I saw that one of your songs was used, and it's actually one of your more recent songs, "You Lift Me Up," was used for a commercial promo for Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
That was pretty. Yeah, that one I was given, the proper the information and the status updates as it went along. But I knew it was in consideration for a while. I'm sure it was up against a lot of artists that are probably a little more popular than myself. But the song got the spot, and I was so thrilled about that. I know my fans were really supportive of it. Even if they don't watch that show, they were very supportive of it. So.
Sure. I mean, that's wow. I mean, that's almost like, when you're getting in Kardashian level. I mean, it's hard to actually believe, but that's
what
like.
What's cool is they were airing it like 5 times a day, and I was like,
really?
It was pretty hard not to hear it. So, it was really, a nice thrill for my team and for me and everything like that.
Now, when things like this happens, like with all these different uses of your music, did you see like a big influx of sales from this?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you see a sales spike, and you see, people finding out about your music from that, and people come to the show. They're like, oh, I found out about you from the Kardashians. I followed you on Twitter. I bought your song. So hopefully it all kind of translates and should correlate. Hopefully if the song reacts to people, it has that kind of you build that kind of connection with your fans. So it's nice. It's a nice way for people to kind of discover my music had they not known it before.
Sure. Yeah, I mean that's basically instead of you paying for the advertising, you're getting paid for the advertisement.
Yeah, and hopefully it makes their promo commercial, more interesting, and it helps build what they're trying to, I guess, sell as well. So hopefully it, works for everyone involved. Yeah.
I'll tell you what too. Like, I know myself. Like when I see like a promo, like I'm just using the Kardashian as an example. Like when you see a promo like that with a particular song being used, that song kind of gets stuck in your head, especially if you're a fan of that show, and you'll always kind of remember that song and go to that song. I know I do. Yeah,
it was a huge opportunity for me, and what's happened lately is like I'll play that song live at a concert, and maybe like someone came who didn't really know my music, maybe they came with a friend or something like that, and they'll come up to me afterwards and be like, I knew that song from somewhere, and they haven't put 2 and 2 together yet that it was from the Kardashians until I say it. They're like, oh, that's why I know it. So there's a lot of that happening too.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, there was one song too that I had that too when I was going through. I was like, oh, I know that song. I'm trying to think which one it was.
And I'm realizing that's a lot. Like it's kind of in that phase right now. Some of these songs where it's like they've heard it before, fans or people who don't, friends of fans and stuff like that, who they're trying to introduce my music to, and they'll come out and be like, oh, that's where I know it from. I know it from that thing. It's kind of about building that whole connection.
Right. Now something else too, like kind of along that same lines. Here I'm saying too, like you had music featured in the 2012 Summer Olympics and all, but
that was another one that was a surprise.
Another thing that it really had to be just a huge factor in everything was where your song. Which song was it? In Case Go Again? Wait.
In Case I Go Again, yeah.
Yeah, that was featured on YouTube's main page.
Yeah, that's how it kind of got started. Back in the day, they used to kind of feature independent artists on their homepage, and I don't think they do it as much anymore, maybe not even at all. But I remember it was like 3 in the morning, and those were the nights I used to like stay up late, like finding any way I could to keep like trying. Well, not that I don't do that anymore, but I used to stay up really late trying to promote my music in any way I could. And out of nowhere, I got like my inbox on my email started like kind of blowing up with just emails and comments. I'm like, where is all this coming from? And I was living with my brother, who was my manager at the time. I knock on his door at 3 a.m. You know, he's obviously exhausted and out of it. And I'm like, there's something going on. And sure enough, we go to the homepage of YouTube, and they decided to feature it that day. So it was really, really a special moment.
Yeah, I mean, and I mean, you too. And that's the one thing too. Like, I was going on your YouTube channel. You're very active in the whole YouTube realm of things. I mean, and you're not like getting like a view here and a view there. You're getting hundreds of thousands of views on things. So I mean, it seems like it's a huge promotional factor for you.
Thanks. Yeah, you know, I try to stay as active as I can on pretty much if there's any way I can interact with my fans. You know, there's you know, I do Vine a lot. I do YouTube. There's an app called Smule where I'm able to duet with my fans. And so it's really just, you know, kind of taking advantage of all these resources because, you know, I find that the more I do it, the more my music gets out there, the more people want to come to a show. And ideally for me, that's really what it's about, is getting to meet them in person at a show and playing and singing and have everyone kind of there singing along. But to me, that's what I do it for. That's the high, you know, having everyone at the show singing along. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned the app, which I wanted to talk to you about too. What's the app called?
The app is called Smule.
Okay, and is that the one that's
Smule?
Is that the one that's like a karaoke app that you have like?
Exactly, it's a karaoke app, and sometimes I do it. I'll do cover songs, but then once in a while I do my own original songs, and that's a kind of a redundant statement. My original songs, and and then my fans, you know, I built up a network on there, and I promoted on Twitter and Vine and everything. Where hey, you can come sing with me on this song, and we can duet, and it's been a really amazing thing. You know, I've gotten thousands of duets to my song. It's really cool. We'll feature, you know, someone once in a while on all my pages. Be like, check out this duet that I did with this fan and stuff like that. So it's a really unique opportunity, I think, you know, that didn't exist before, to kind of, you know, have the chance to you know, actually face to face sing with your fans through an app.
Yeah, I was like really blown away when I was sitting there reading it. Like, I was trying to like grasp the concept of it, and because I'm not big on the whole app world thing and stuff like that. But
yeah.
I was just like, wow, that's
so
kind of
basically
like
what it. Yeah, the way it works is like, so I'll have my song, and they pretty much on the screen they put, you know, like a karaoke, you know, like you would do at any traditional karaoke thing. They put the lyrics, and you could video yourself, and then they split the screen half and half, and then some fan joins you, and they sing the other half of the song, and then you duet in the chorus. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, that's wait. I mean, 70,000 fans you have on this app. Like, do you sit there and listen to all these songs? Like, oh my God! Like, all these people are trying to sing along with you.
Yeah, it gets difficult. I spend a couple hours. Sometimes I'll go through it as many as I can, and you know, I try to give them all love. I try to like them and comment on as many as I can, just because, you know, if anyone's going to take the time to sing with me and do that, you know, that's a moment of their life that didn't have to do that, and I appreciate it. So, you know, we try to get through as many as we can.
Yeah, that's the one thing too. Time. There's never enough time in a day between apps.
I mean, literally
YouTube.
70,000 duets. You know, it could take a year. So I try to go through as many as I can.
Now, have you ever thought of something like this? And I think it was Tommy Lee, and I think other artists might have done this, where they actually had fans like enter in singing or, you know, guitar playing or whatever, and they used the fans' tracks on their album.
On like a record, that's really cool.
Yeah,
I've never done anything like that, but that's something I should keep in my back pocket. I kind of like that idea.
Yeah, I mean, imagine if the fan had or say if you had a chance to sing with one of your influences. I mean, how huge would that be?
That'd be really cool.
So, all right, so let's go back to the beginning too, because something that really stood out. Like, you started writing. Now, writing. This is what blew me away. Playing and writing piano at 8 years old. Like,
yeah.
How does that happen?
You know, I don't really know any. You know, I sometimes try to go my memories back to the beginning, and it's like it's a little fuzzy. But I do remember my dad was a songwriter, instrumental songwriter. But I remember him always being at the piano and his recording software and stuff, and kind of laying down tracks. And I just remember being really inspired by what he was doing. And so I kind of just had like a natural, I guess, attraction to the piano and to expressing myself through it. So I started, I really started learning to play at like, 7, 8 years old, and I started just writing songs, whatever was going on at the playground in school, or my baseball and hockey teams. I would come home and I'd write just, everything that was going on in my life. I don't know why, and it was only just instrumental music in the beginning. But it was just, my dad has recordings of me from the time I was 8 years old up until now. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, have you ever thought of maybe doing something with those just for fun?
I promise you, nobody wants to hear those songs.
So, let me see here. Again, you have all these little tidbits that really stood out. Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers has your music on his playlist.
Yeah. That according to my friend, is the coolest thing I've ever done in my career.
Do you become a Packers fan now?
Well, you got to be, right?
Yeah, right.
I'm definitely an Aaron Rodgers fan. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, when somebody, they come right out and say that. He's the top QB in the NFL. When somebody comes out and says that.
You know what's interesting is I think he told me he originally found out about my music through a friend of his, but his friend found it through YouTube, which ties everything together. So it's pretty amazing how music can spread in that way. And Aaron's been a really supportive fan. He came out to my show in LA last summer. We kept in touch, and he's really it means so much to me to have somebody support like that.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Do you know how he found out about you? That would be cool. How you came onto his radar.
I'm pretty sure it was through one of his buddies in Australia, and his friend had found out about music through YouTube. I'm pretty sure that's the story. I'd have to ask him again. But before I knew it, one day, he tweeted out my name that I was on his playlist, and that was the year that the Packers won the Super Bowl and that he was the MVP, and I was like, that's pretty cool.
Wow.
He was listening to my song before most of the games that season. So.
That's awesome. Now, if you find out if he listens to that song when he's with Olivia Munn, that's even better.
Yeah. I don't know too much about that, but yeah.
Oh, too funny. So, all right. So, you were also now. This is really, stand out, and this is where you really have to figure out all right, how we get you to this next step now. You were voted one of the 15 artists you never heard of but deserves a Grammy.
That's a very nice statement. I think I remember that. That was posted a couple months ago, I think.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
Just that mention alone. That's. Reading it for me, it felt very prestigious.
Yeah, I'm always honored anytime someone wants to say that. I don't know if I necessarily feel that, but I appreciate, when if my music resonates with people and reacts in that way, and they want to go ahead and say that I deserve that. Well, sure, I wouldn't turn it down, So, but yeah, for me, I think I'm always very grateful and just humbled by things that people say, and I try not to take it too close to heart, if you know what I mean.
Right. Yeah, that's got to be tough too. You were also voted by iHeartRadio as one of the artists to watch. Is it hard when you're finding out about these things to it's got to to yourself. With me, it'd be it would blow my head up, but then it'd be harder part trying to keep balanced and straight. You know what I mean? Level-headed.
It doesn't blow my head up. It makes me almost okay, now I have to prove it. I have to do this now.
Yeah. So it becomes more of a challenge, basically.
It becomes a little bit more of a challenge. It's all right, well, they're trying to say something, so why don't I have a Grammy? What am I doing wrong?
Or they said you were an artist not heard of, so how do you get heard?
Right, how do I get heard of? The perfectionist me says, well, maybe I'm not doing everything right because, how do I get to that next step? What have I not done yet?
Right. All right, so
obviously, I'm very thankful for somebody, taking the time to write that, and it doesn't mean a lot to me. It's, and at the same time, it's all right, well, what can I do? I don't take it in a sense of look at this, kind of thing. I'm not gonna brag about it or something like that.
Right. Now, the person that wrote that, did you buy them a laptop too?
I buy everyone a laptop. How do you think I got to where I am? I'm buying laptops left and right.
There you go. I guess Best Buy loves you, right?
Sorry? Best Buy,
I guess Best Buy loves you, yeah. So, all right, so you have the new albums out now, and the first single, like we said earlier in the show, in the interview, You Lift Me Up, that was used as a promo for the Kardashians, but also, too, 6 million, not 600, not 6,000, not 600,000, 6 million Spotify streams.
Yeah, it's getting up there.
Like, that's amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, to me, that's like more than anything that's written or anything else. You know, that is like, to me, something that's really, really special and really cool and kind of, you know, stands on its own is that, you know, people are spreading the word on Spotify, which to me is one of the coolest, you know, music platforms that we have. So.
Yeah, I mean, that's now I see that and I see 6 million, and then I go back to the earlier statement, an artist you never heard of. Well, there's 6 million people that have heard it. You know. So,
but there's I guess when there's billions of people in the world, it's a small percentage.
Yeah. Well, you're getting there a lot quicker than other people.
I appreciate that. Thank you. You know, I never look at it like you know, it's only just against myself. It's like, all right, how do I keep, you know, getting, first of all, creating more music and making it better and just improving as an artist and reaching more people. It's really, you know, that's how I look at it. You know, numbers and all that stuff, you know, hopefully it can allow me to keep supporting myself and doing music, but I never, other than that, it's nothing I look at like a competition or anything like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, the new single, the only one, it's getting a lot of airplay on Sirius XM on the Pulse.
Yeah, they've been so supportive, and I'm so grateful for that.
Which, and every time I mean, I'm a big supporter of the whole Sirius XM network, of everything.
Yeah, I love it. It's, when we travel, it's really, you know, what we listen to all the time. It's just it's really a great thing.
Yeah, and you know, with the way you know, regular FM dial stations are today, it's like so hard to get airplay even in major cities because the stations are so goofy anymore. But when you have like a Sirius XM where you have each channel is right there and each channel has a different genre, I mean, it's perfect.
Yeah, it's super cool. You know, I'm obviously, you know, really thankful to you know, Pulse for supporting the song, and you know, as an artist, you know, FM play, you'd be surprised, still goes a very long way, and you know, I still try to get the support of every station that I can, but for sure, you know, Sirius XM has something, you know, that's definitely changed the game, and it's a pretty, I mean, I love it. I listen to my Sirius XM all the time.
Nice.
Yeah.
And let's see, spring tour. You did a tour, and actually, you were just here in Philly like a month ago.
Yeah, I was. It's funny, in my mind it seems like forever ago because this tour has been just a lot of shows and packed in a month, and it almost feels like a year ago to me.
So will you be going down the road any more this year? Or?
Yeah, you know, I'm always booking my next tour, and so I'll probably be back on the road again in August or September. And you know, I love being on the road and I love performing, so it's never too long till I'm touring again.
Nice. And something that really, another thing that stood out, which we had Keaton Simons on a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking to him about it, because I was just blown away by this. And I saw it on your website, and it said house concert. Now, do you do the whole house concert thing like he does, too, like where you actually go to people's houses?
Yeah, so that's really how I got started with my touring was, so you know, I mentioned the whole thing with YouTube that they featured me and on the homepage, and so I had like, you know, a lot of new fans, and they were all requesting shows, and you know, it was really early in my career. I didn't have an agent. I really had no way of booking a tour, so what I did was I just put the word out. I was like, you know, if you can get 20, 25 people together, I'll come play in your living room, you know, and then before I knew it, I was getting a ton of like applicants, that people that wanted house concerts, and so I booked my first summer, I think my 2010, when I was really just getting started. I booked about 50, 60 house concerts in a row, and I would do 2 in a city, 3 in a city. And I kind of went across the country doing that, and then I that's really how I got by for the first year of touring.
That's pretty incredible.
Yeah, thanks. It was a really amazing moment. I was so happy being on the road and kind of just meeting my fans, and even though I was pretty much playing for free, and sometimes sleeping on their couches or their guest rooms, to me I had made it. I was doing exactly what I wanted to do.
Didn't you, and this is where I was kind of blown away, and I kept asking Keaton about this. Didn't you feel weird, going in the people's houses? You don't know these people.
And you know what?
I mean,
you have to have a
certain
kind of personality to be able to pull off the house concert thing. And I know, I did it the first year where I would stay in people's homes and everything like that. And then I started charging just a little bit for the house concert so I could stay in a hotel, because you kind of do need that separation after a show or even before a show to get ready and, that to decompress afterwards. That space is kind of, it's something, that I value after a show. I need that, that space and that kind of time to clear your head and think about it and reflect and everything I think is important. So I started, I only did that for 1 year, and then I kind of, was like, all right, I need to get a hotel.
Yeah, I don't blame you on that one. That would just freak me out. Wow. Yeah, you know what?
I've been very lucky that the fans that put together the house concerts are really genuine, cool, down-to-earth people. They just want to have a good time. And they never really cross the line. I don't even know what the line would be, because, I'm pretty, I don't think they're ever going to, do anything that's too weird. So I haven't experienced that yet. So for the most part, they've been pretty amazing experiences.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Yeah,
I was trying to think on the top of my head there in the middle of that rant, the weirdest thing that's happened, but I couldn't even tell you. Maybe somebody that wants 20 hugs or something like that, but that's okay.
And he was kind of saying the same thing. Out of all the ones he's done, he's never had nothing weird happen.
Yeah, I just think the people that want to host these house concerts are real, true fans, and they just want to help you, support you, and get the word out. And so, I haven't experienced anything that I would be oh my God, that was intense or something like that,
Oh, that's funny. That is so funny. Yeah, I told him, I'm going to tell you the same thing, and I told him, whenever you do a house concert and you come to the point where you're in a weird situation, you got to call me. I want to know the details. I'm so blown away by these whole house concert things.
Yeah, the way it works now is I don't do them that much anymore, but I try to do them when I can in off nights, or if I'm in a city where I normally wouldn't play and there's a fan that wants a show, we'll try and put it together. And the way it works is, they're really they're 3-hour things. You get there, you set up, you hang out with everyone, you introduce yourself, you perform for an hour, and then you hang out for an hour afterwards and sell merchandise and take pictures and everything like that. And I don't travel alone, so there's people with me. So it's always it's down to science now. It kind of has a structure. The fans are made aware ahead of time how it's all going to work and everything like that. So it's pretty should something occur, though, I will definitely have you on speed dial. You got it.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, you have our studio number, and I'll send my my number over to your brother for you, so you can put me on speed dial.
Good.
Oh, that's funny. So, all right, so I can't believe we're almost halfway done the year. So, what's the plans you got going on for the rest of this year?
I'm going to start doing some writing for a new album when I get home. I've been promoting this record for a long time, and even though I don't even think it's seen, the light of day yet, I do want to spend a few weeks writing, getting my thoughts out. When you get on the road, you get pretty inspired. So I'm going to do some writing for a couple of weeks, and I'll probably get back on the road in July or so. And
cool.
July, August, and keep touring and maybe do some house concerts and some venue shows and just keep building.
Nice. Very good.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get all your stuff out there, website, social medias, and where they can buy your albums, so we can get all that out there.
Yeah, so everything is pretty much just, / Mikey Wax. So MikeyWax.com, Twitter.com / Mikey Wax, Instagram, everything's just my name. It's pretty easy to find.
Very, very good. Very simple.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to
Although
keep
I
it
will
simple
tell all
for
the listeners that the single we are pushing is only one. And if they want to go support it on iTunes, that would mean a lot to me.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very good. And that's the song I have queued up. So we're going to play that. And before I let you go, too, I want to thank you so much. And if I can just get you to cut a quick,
appreciate having me.
If you can just cut a quick ID for me. This is Mikey Wax, and you're listening to Totally Driven Radio.
Hey, this is Mikey Wax, and you're listening to Totally Driven Radio.
Awesome. Mikey, thanks so much. Anything else you want to throw out there before we let you go?
No, I appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Cool. You're the man. Thank you.
I'll talk to you soon.
But absolutely. Take care, Mikey.
All right. Take care. Bye.
All right, there he goes, Mikey Wax. And there is only one Mikey Wax. So let's play his new single, Only One.